welcome back to NFL in Review. This is going to be week 15 of the 2025 NFL season. There's a lot to talk about, and before we get started, all teams have finished their bye weeks, so every team will play from this point onwards in the season. There's only 3 weeks left of the season, but there's a lot to talk about, so let's get started. Thursday Night Football primetime, we have the Atlanta Falcons at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, the Atlanta Falcons have been eliminated from playoff contention at this point, but they still managed to beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in this game. How they managed to do it, I have absolutely no idea. I thought Tampa Bay was looking better than all of them, but they were looking pretty good at one point. They had like a really good lead until Falcons took over. Me being a little bit of a fan of Tampa Bay, I cannot believe that the Falcons beat us. All Falcons fans out there, I hope you're happy that you got this win against your division rival. Let's talk about the game really quick. Your highlights for this week are the Falcons versus Buck highlights. Bijan Robinson's best plays from 175 yards he got. Kirk Cousins' best plays from a 3-touchdown game. Kyle Pitts' best catches from a 3-touchdown game. Walk-off field goal. Cousins and Sills, the fifth, deliver clutch 14 yards. They were both in their throwback jerseys for this game. I really like the creamsicle colors that the Tampa Bay was wearing. And I also like the Falcons' older jerseys from like the early 2000s. Obviously, I was going to root for Tampa Bay, but somehow, someway, they just lost. But the one thing about this game that I'll say is that everybody from Tampa Bay is back. So we have Mike Evans back. We have some of the other wide receivers like running back. Well, I think Bucky Morgan was there from the start too. But some of their offensive line, their tight end, they're all there. And somehow they still lost the game. And Michael Penix Jr. being out from the Falcons the rest of the season, they have to deal with Kirk Cousins, and they managed to win. Nothing more I can really say about that. I just hate that Tampa Bay lost. Congratulations to the Atlanta Falcons. AFC West division rivalry, we have the LA Chargers at the Kansas City Chiefs. This was a make or break game for the Kansas City Chiefs. We have the Chargers coming at the Chiefs in Arrowhead, and somehow this is probably going to be a dark day for Chiefs fans, a dark day for Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce and the rest of the Chiefs fans and Taylor Swift and everybody, because this was the game that eliminated the Kansas City Chiefs from the playoff contention. You heard that right. For the first time since 2014, the Kansas City Chiefs have been eliminated from playoff contention with a 6-8 record. And to make matters worse, Patrick Mahomes has torn his ACL, which means he will be out for the rest of the season. Granted, there's only 3 weeks left in the season, so they're going to have to start Gardner Minshew after that. But talk about a rough week for the Kansas City and the Chiefs fans. I just cannot imagine a worse scenario. And from what I heard, like today, he had gotten ACL surgery and it was successful. They repaired his ACL. Patrick Mahomes is going to be starting rehab as soon as possible, so I hope that Patrick Mahomes gets a speedy recovery. But this also means for me that for the rest of this season, I'm going to have to start Jared Goff as my starting quarterback, which I'm not really mad at. Patrick Mahomes was not really looking good anyway. Justin Herbert and his crew, man, like you got Ladd McConkey over there, and you just have to look at like the Chiefs from like that angle of how bad they were doing. Having to start Gardner Minshew like way late in the fourth quarter, and he threw that pick just to end that Chiefs dynasty, man. And everywhere I keep seeing that this is going to be the first time since 1998 where Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, or Patrick Mahomes will not be in the playoffs. One of those three quarterbacks will not be in the playoffs this season. That is honestly mind-blowing to me, because we're so used to seeing the Chiefs in the playoffs, but this season, their season ended at 15. We'll get to my team in a little bit. Congratulations to the LA Chargers for winning their game. Buffalo Bills at New England Patriots. Week after week after week after week, we just kept seeing the New England Patriots dominate the AFC East in every other game they played afterwards. Obviously, it all started with my Dolphins. It all started with them. Because since week 2, we have lost to the Patriots, and they have won every single game since. Well, maybe not every single game. Most of their games they won. So, Buffalo beating New England is just icing on the cake. Also, one thing I have to say is I want to congratulate Josh Allen on, first of all, winning the game, and second of all, becoming a father. Haley Steinfeld and Josh Allen are now expecting their first child together as a married couple, and I want to congratulate both of them in doing so. And this was probably the push that Josh Allen needed. This is all he needed. Because now it's starting to become late in the season. This is where Josh Allen really picks up his slack. Not that he had any slack to begin with, but man, you guys know me. As a Dolphins fan, I love the Buffalo Bills. I should hate them because they're my division rival, and we had a big heated rivalry way back in the 70s and the 80s and the 90s. But seeing Buffalo beat New England Patriots, who I actually don't like the New England Patriots. You guys all know this. But seeing Buffalo Bills beat the New England Patriots, it makes me happy. Like, I would much rather have this than the game that I'm gonna talk about at the very end of this video. Even though Drake May and the rest of the Patriots team were looking like $1,000,000, Josh Allen was the underdog, and somehow, some way, through faith and prayers itself, the Buffalo Bills managed to beat the New England Patriots, the AFC East rivalry. So good to see, and I love seeing it. Makes me happy. Buffalo Bills make me happy. Seeing the Patriots down make me happy. So, congratulations to Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills for their victory in Week 15. The Las Vegas Raiders at the Philadelphia Eagles. You guys all know, these past few weeks, the Philadelphia Eagles were not looking too hot. They lost 3 straight weeks in a row. And we were honestly starting to get worried. We were worried about this game too. If they couldn't even beat the Las Vegas Raiders, then come on, like, it's probably best to hang up your wings. But luckily, it was a shutout. I mean, the Philadelphia Eagles were Super Bowl champions, and they managed to shut out the Vegas Raiders. Now, listen. I love both teams, even though the Raiders absolutely suck right now. I love the Raiders. I would pick Raiders over any of the AFC West teams. Even though I don't really hate anybody from AFC West, I'll pick Raiders all day, every day, even though they're the suckiest of the suck. But hopefully they pick up their slack in the next coming seasons. But anyway, Philadelphia Eagles can breathe. The fans can breathe. The Eagles fans can breathe. They're able to get a shutout, 9-5. They're still eligible for the playoffs, a 9-5 record. So it's going to be looking good a little bit from here on out for the Eagles, I hope. Let me just check the Eagles' schedule real quick, because I know they face the Commanders week 16 and 18, but what about week 17? Week 17, I don't really know who the Eagles face. Who do the Eagles face week 17? Oh, they face the Buffalo Bills. Okay, so they face the Buffalo Bills week 17. But 16 and 18 are going to be Washington Commanders. Yeah, this was, I'm kind of glad this was a shutout, because I don't think Eagles fans are going to live this one down. First, they get beat by the Chargers. They get beat by the Bears. Then they get beat by the Cowboys for 3 straight weeks of loss. And if they couldn't even beat the Raiders, the Las Vegas Raiders, oh man, I don't think anybody was going to let them live that down if they had lost. But luckily it was a shutout for them. So congratulations to Jalen Hurts and the Philadelphia Eagles for winning Week 15. Indianapolis Colts at the Seattle Seahawks. Now that Danny Dimes has been stepping away from the picture since his Achilles injury, now comes in the legendary Phillip Rivers. who used to be the San Diego Chargers quarterback, and now he also wears 17, just like Danny Dimes, just like Daniel Jones. And we got Phillip Rivers, who actually wasn't looking too shabby this game. I'm not going to lie. Like, he's now the oldest quarterback in the league. Right above Aaron Rodgers, right above Joe Flacco. I never thought I would see that kind of game coming from Phillip Rivers, though. Coming from the Seattle Seahawks, you got Sam Darnold, Jackson Smith-Njigba, Cooper Kupp. They just looked that much better. I mean, it was a pretty close game. I mean, you see it's only 2 points. Like, Phillip Rivers ain't nothing to sneeze at. 300 yards for one game in one pass game? That is nothing to sneeze at. Phillip Rivers still got it. I'm pretty surprised. Like, it's nothing to sneeze at. Absolutely nothing to sneeze at. I would not put it past Phillip Rivers if he was training and doing all this. I mean, he was. He came out of retirement just to be the back, just to be for the Colts. But he's still got it. I'm not gonna lie. He definitely had some great moments there. Every catch from Jackson Smith-Njigba, every passing attempt from Phillip Rivers, Kobe Bryant called games, can't miss plays. Pierce's first reception goes for 16 yards. Mekhi Blackman's PBU prevent potentially. Smith-Njigba shakes a tackler. Yeah, it was mostly Jackson Smith-Njigba. Congratulations to the Seattle Seahawks and Sam Darnold for winning Week 15. But Phillip Rivers, you know what? You're here to stay. And I respect that. Sunday Night Football. We have the Minnesota Vikings at the Dallas Cowboys. This was a pretty interesting game. We have the Minnesota Vikings winning again, but this time against the Dallas Cowboys. If I could just look at that team a little bit. Let me look at the Cowboys. They came off from week 11 to 13, winning against the Raiders, winning against the Eagles, and beating the Chiefs on Thanksgiving. Then the week after that, they lost to the Lions, and now this week they lost to the Vikings. So NFC North has their number, but there's nothing to sneeze at. Defense was looking pretty good. Very enjoyable to watch J.J. McCarthy and Justin Jefferson do their thing. With me, I feel like J.J. McCarthy is inconsistent. He's that inconsistent quarterback where some teams he does well against, and then other teams he doesn't. I mean, if you look at their past schedule, like they won their past game against the Commanders, and then they lost 4 straight games before to the Seahawks, the Packers, the Bears, and the Ravens from 13 to 10. Week 13, 12, 11, and 10. I know, like, he's one of those inconsistent ones. Sometimes he wins, sometimes he loses. But he managed to get 2 dubs. Last week from the Commanders, and now this week against the Cowboys. Now it just looks like they have to face the Giants next week. And that's pretty much going to be a cakewalk for J.J. McCarthy. I don't know how the Giants are going to do. I don't know how the Cowboys are going to do with the next coming weeks. Now let's see. Hold on. Their schedule, they have the Chargers next week. They have the Commanders for the last week. And then week 18 is the rivalry week. They're going to face the Chargers. Week 16, 17 is going to be Commanders. And then 18 is going to be the Giants. Sorry to Dak Prescott, but I mean, J.J. McCarthy had his number. So congratulations to the Minnesota Vikings and J.J. McCarthy and Justin Jefferson for beating the Dallas Cowboys Week 15. Monday Night Football. Monday Night Football. We have the Miami Dolphins at the Pittsburgh Steelers. I kind of had a feeling that this was going to be a toss-up, even though this was a few-point game. Actually just finished watching this game, and I did not like what I was seeing. And to make matters worse, the Miami Dolphins have officially been eliminated from playoff contention. I wasn't really expecting to be in the playoffs anyway, but when you're going up against the Steelers with a semi-good defense, then there's really nothing much you could do. A freaking turnovers by Tua Tagovailoa again. These guys were doing so good the past few weeks. I don't know what happened. What happened? They were doing so good the past few weeks. I just don't understand. You went up against Aaron Rodgers, one of the oldest quarterbacks in the league. How could this have happened? You won 4 straight weeks in a row. You beat the Bills. You beat the Buffalo Bills. And now we can't even beat the Pittsburgh Steelers? Our last 3 games are going to be the Bengals, the Cincinnati Bengals, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and then the final boss, the New England Patriots. Of course, the Miami Dolphins, the suckiest team of the suck, gets the final boss of Drake May and Stephon Diggs of the New England Patriots. I wasn't expecting to make the playoffs this year. Like, obviously, I knew that was going to happen, but now seeing this in front of my face and just having this game be the one that eliminates us from playoffs is just like... And I got something to say for the Steelers fans. Like, you guys always waste a playoff spot. Like, you're always put at that wild card position just so you could lose the wild card round. It's happened year after year after year after year for the Steelers, and it never changes. And this postseason is not going to be any different. Mark my words. How Aaron Rodgers managed to make the playoffs with the Steelers, I have absolutely no idea. Because if you guys remember what I said before the season started, was that with Aaron Rodgers, the Steelers wouldn't even make the playoffs. Now it looks like that's what's just going to happen. It's the same shit every single year with the Steelers. I hate it. We need a team that actually deserves that spot. You know what? Just for shits and giggles, let's see who the Steelers have the next 3 weeks. Since week 15 is over, let's just see who they have. You got the Detroit Lions, you got the Cleveland Browns, and you got the Baltimore Ravens. I hope the Lions beat them, and somehow I hope the Cleveland Browns beat them, and somehow I hope the Baltimore Ravens beat them too. And somehow they're still going to make the playoffs, and somehow they're still going to lose the wild card round. Cannot believe I'm saying that, and cannot believe I was wrong. I'm just going to stop making predictions, only because I'm wrong every single time. So I'm just going to keep my mouth shut. I'm just going to not say anything about sports anymore, only because I'm wrong every single time. You know what? Let me just see the standings for the league. So it looks like the Baltimore Ravens are still going to be in the running. Somehow the Steelers just, some way, they make it every year and then they lose. I don't know how you guys managed to do that. It sucks. But you know what? We can look at this playoff picture from a different perspective now. Here's what it looks like right now. Okay? Yep, Broncos got the first week bye. Then we got the Patriots at the 2nd seed, Jaguars in the 3rd seed, Steelers somehow in the 4th seed, somehow, the Chargers in the 5th seed, Bills in the 6th seed, and Texans in the 7th seed. Not a bad playoff picture. Then NFC, we have the Rams having their first week bye. Then somehow the Chicago Bears bumped from the 7th seed all the way up to the 2nd seed. How do the Bears keep doing that? The Eagles are in the 3rd seed, Buccaneers are in the 4th seed, Seahawks in the 5th seed, 49ers in the 6th seed, and then the Green Bay Packers in the 7th seed. So that's what our playoff picture is looking like right now. Things could still change within the next coming weeks, but as far as we know, that's what our playoff picture is looking like. That's what our postseason is looking like. And we're going to have a new AFC West champion, so that's most likely going to be the Broncos. So congratulations to the Broncos for winning AFC West. And then NFC West, we have the LA Rams. Sometimes it feels a lot more gratifying being a fan of other teams, only because I know my team absolutely sucks dog water from a straw. Seeing the Rams at that first week bye just makes me happy, because I love the Rams. I love Matthew Stafford. I'm a whole Aries, so that's why I'm a Rams fan. I appreciate the Rams. I hope they can make it far, because I'm trying to look at what the playoff probability would look like if they were to face each other. If all of these teams were to face each other, like how would that look like, and how would that play out? Broncos clinched the first week bye, and then Rams clinched the first week bye. There are 6 available playoff spots. They clinched their first week bye. I'm not really mad at it, you know. Some of my favorite teams are on there. Texans have made it, kind of, sort of. At least I can say that from one of my favorite AFC teams. So I hope the Texans make it far. But other than that, I'm just rooting for my NFC teams. I got Rams, I got Eagles, and I got Bucks. I'm more so leaning towards the NFC side than I am the AFC side, even though my team is from AFC East, and I'm kind of glad to see the Buccaneers back at the spot. Looking at the standings currently, only the Denver Broncos and the Rams clinched their playoff berth, but they haven't clinched the bye yet. But that's what it's looking like. That's all it is. The teams that have officially been eliminated from playoff contention are as follows: the Kansas City Chiefs, the Miami Dolphins, the Minnesota Vikings, the Atlanta Falcons, the Cincinnati Bengals, the New Orleans Saints, the Washington Commanders, the Arizona Cardinals, the Cleveland Browns, the New York Jets, the Las Vegas Raiders, the New York Giants, and the Tennessee Titans. We still got 3 weeks left in the season. I cannot believe it's almost coming to an end. It feels like this season just flew by, and there's a lot of crazy stuff that's happened. The Bears doing good, the Patriots doing good, and the Jaguars doing good. Like, I never thought I would see it. I mean, we preyed on the Chiefs' downfall for a while, and then what do we get? Another Patriots dynasty. This time without Tom Brady, but now we have Drake May. Yeah, that's really all I gotta say. So, we'll just see how the rest of the season plays out. I'm still gonna do the last 3 weeks, and then I'll probably do the postseason. Probably look at the wild card rounds for each week, then the divisional rounds, and then the NFC and AFC championships, and then finally we have the Super Bowl. Kind of glad I started watching football for a full season and not just watching the Super Bowl, because the past season, the 2024 season, I only watched the playoffs. I only watched the playoffs for the 2024 season. That's when I started watching. I wanted to watch a full season, which I'm finally glad I was able to do. Finally getting to see all 32 teams duke it out to see who would make the playoffs, and then see where that goes from there. But that's really all I gotta say. Miami Dolphins have officially been eliminated from playoff contention this week. Sucks, but I wasn't expecting anything more than that. I'm not going to say there's always next year, because only one team can go, and it certainly isn't us. I have 7 other teams to root for. So it's not like it's a whole loss. But thank you all for listening, and thank you all for watching this week. You can come back for week 16, where the closing of the regular season. See you all next week for week 16. Peace.